Google's 200 plus ranking factors. We all know that SEO is pretty hard. And hopefully throughout the course of this course, you've gleaned some really important information about just how SEO works and how Google ranks different websites on its SERPs. With all of this information, it could seem a little bit dizzying, but I wanted to break down the ranking factors that are involved with Google's current search algorithm. As we spoke about in the algorithm adjustments course section, we know that there are over 200 different ranking factors that are now part of the Hummingbird search. Now, the Hummingbird search, if you want to think about a car's engine, if the search engine of Google was inside of a car's engine, you could think of the Hummingbird search as almost an entirely new engine. Similar parts, but almost an entirely replaced engine. Now, the Hummingbird is Google's answer to contextual search. We've always had contextual search with Google, but it's just been incredibly enhanced. 90% of search results were affected by Hummingbird. So at this point, it's really important that we understand the different factors that are involved with Google search. And I think that after I provide this framework to you guys, you'll have a far better understanding of all the things that will go into your ability to rank on Google SERPs and what's going to help you and what's going to hurt you. Hopefully by now you have a much more in-depth understanding of SEO. And of course, if you guys have questions, please post them in the course, in the boards, and I'll be more than happy to try and answer them right away for you guys. So I wanted to get started. Now, there's another downloadable resource guide in this. Hope you guys are enjoying the resource guides. I would love your feedback on those as well. If you want me to provide more, please give me your feedback. Now, this current resource guide we're looking at is the 200 plus ranking factors. Now, I've split it up into, on-page optimization, off-page optimization, and I wanted to start out with stuff that relates to the quality of the content. Now, you'll kind of see why I've stressed the fact that we must forge value, because that value, the underlying quality of the content makes a significant difference in how likely you are to appear relevantly in Google searches. So let's go through these. Let's start with number one. We have reading level and word usage. That one makes pretty much makes sense. It's what's the reading level of the content? Obviously, it's the basic. Is it elementary words? Is it intermediate with moderately difficult words, or is it an advanced level with university grade words? Now, you don't have to go overboard and use words that nobody's going to understand, but definitely stay away from elementary content. You want a high level reading grade. I mean, you don't want maybe you don't want a master's degree reading grade, but a university level degree is okay. So just ensure that it's comprehensible and it sounds good. This much is pretty apparent so far. So we have the web page load speed. Now, if you guys recall how important the user experience is to Google, you'll know why this is really important. And think about it yourself. If you go to a website and the page is taking forever to load, are you going to stick around, or are you going to bounce, so to speak? Most people will stick around for about 2 or 3 seconds, but after that, they don't want to stay anymore and wait for the page to load. They'll just go to a different listing on the SERPs. So how long does the web page take to load? This is an important consideration. Now, you can glean this information from Google's developer site, and there's a link in here. Please click the link, and you can run a test on your website, your client's website, whatever the case might be. Now, the keyword density of the content, we've spoken about the keyword density. Now we're talking about the exact match keyword density. Now, the thing is, you don't want to go overboard with the exact match keyword density. You always want to ensure that it sounds natural and organic. But the framework that I've provided here is to stick around 2% total. Now, we're not talking about 2% exact match. So 2% out of 1,000 words is about 20 keywords. But we only want to have about 30 to 40% of exact match keywords versus 70 to 60% of the LSI match keywords. So keep that in mind. So if we're doing, 20 keywords out of 1,000 words, then 30 to 40% of that is going to be 6 to 8 keywords that are going to be, an exact match, and the balance is going to be LSI matched. Keyword in the first paragraph. So this sends an important relevancy signal. You want to try to have the exact match keyword in the first paragraph. Also in the last paragraph as well. Stylized keywords are important. It's a weak relevancy signal, but you don't want to go overboard with stylized keywords. This just basically means, bold, italics, and underlined for your keywords. Now, again, you don't want to go overboard if it's natural and organic sounding, and it seems fine and normal in the course of writing out whatever you're writing out. Then do it. You might want to even bold or italicize an entire sentence that includes the exact match keyword. So it's up to you, but don't go overboard. It's not a huge thing, but it's just another relevancy signal to send. LSI keyword, density of content, of course, we just spoke about. LSI keyword in the first paragraph. So it is a good idea to have the LSI keyword in the first paragraph. So you can have an exact match and an LSI keyword in the first paragraph. Remember, the percentage that you want to stick to. So keep those in mind. Also the LSI keyword in the last paragraph. But, in whole, you kind of want to distribute the keywords kind of evenly. You don't want to, bombard 10 keywords into one paragraph. Of course, it's not going to sound natural and organic. So as long as things sound natural and organic, then it's okay. Even if you don't hit exactly 2%, and you come close, you're at 1.5%. Google basically just wants to see that the article is keyword centric. It wants to know that this article is about this keyword. So with the LSI and the exact match at 2%, you should be good. But don't be so stringent on that. So you can kind of go a little bit less if you want to. LSI stylized keywords. You can stylize some LSI keywords if it makes sense. Never duplicate content. That's pretty obvious. I've already stressed that before. You can use Copyscape. For example, if somebody's writing up some content for you, you can always use Copyscape to check for duplicity, which is a great resource. Copyscape.com. Their link is there. Number 13, image optimization. We spoke about images. Use a high resolution image. Make sure you have the rights to use the image. Make sure that it's, clear, it's not blurry. And then, of course, make sure that it's relevant to the content. Don't add an image of a tomato if you're writing about, resumes or something like that. Just make sure that it's relevant to whatever you're writing about. Image alt tag keywords. Is the exact match keyword or LSI match keyword being used in the image alt tag? So, you want to have in my recommendation, you want to have the exact match keyword inside of the alt tag, and you'd want to start the alt tag with that keyword. So that's always a good basis to go off of. Image name and the keywords. Now, Google doesn't expressly say that you should do this, but I think that it's good practice. Instead of doing like img 1762366.jpg, change the name of the image to something that makes more sense, like 200-plus-google-ranking-factors.jpg. So it just sends an additional relevancy signal, and why not do it? Some consistency and the potential to send another relevancy signal. Number of outbound links. Now, be very, very careful on how many outbound links that you have on the content itself. You don't want to have tons and tons of outbound links, especially if they're irrelevant links. Make sure that they're relevant. Make sure that they go to good linking neighborhoods. Make sure you're not you don't have outbound links to spammy websites, and of course stuff like never exchange links with people, and never sell links to people, etc., etc. The quality of outbound links, of course, the theme of the outbound links I just said. Grammar and spelling. Absolutely, you want to ensure that your grammar and spelling is on point. You don't want to have tons of misspelling errors and tons of grammatical mistakes. Now, Google's not going to ding you a huge amount if you have one or two here or there, but if you have an excessive amount, it brings down the user's experience, and then it becomes low quality content. Nobody wants to read something that is basically illegible. Syndicated content. Be very careful if you're syndicating content, as in if you're duplicating a portion of content from somewhere else without adding sufficient value. If you're quoting a big part of an article, you don't want to just quote a big part of an article. It's basically copying. You want to add some value. So make sure that you add value. Audio or video, multimedia. If you have multimedia elements, now stay away from stuff like Flash and things like that. But sound clips, video clips, those are definitely good because it helps to better explain whatever you're speaking about. Make sure that they're relevant to whatever the article is about. Number of internal links to the page. Now think about it. How many internal links are pointing to a page? If I have a website about goal setting and a lot of the articles that I write about refer back to one particular excellent post on the right way to set goals, for example, then that page is going to become more important in the eyes of Google because a lot of your internal pages are referencing that page. So, I might talk about something else and say, hey, go back to this post and read about goal setting before you do X, Y, and Z. So number 23, quality of internal links to the page, what are the quality of the internal links that are going to the page? So, from the other pages on your website, are those, high quality links coming back, as in, are they coming back from, high quality content, or, what's the situation? Number of no follow or do follow links on the page. How many no follow links are there? How many do follow links are there, or, without the do follow attribute? If there's an excessive amount, it's link sculpting. You really don't need to engage with the no follow so much. Just ensure that whatever links that you're sending out, that they are relevant to what you're writing about and they're high quality, because even if you're doing no follow links, you might not be losing link juice, but you're still kind of giving credit to whatever website. So why not just give them credit and not link sculpt? Internal link anchor text. What's the anchor text of the links that are pointing back to that content? That helps to send a relevancy signal. Is it a keyword-driven anchor text, or is it generic? So Google can glean some information off that. It's good to kind of mix things up, and if you're, and this applies also to off-page SEO and as well as on-page SEO. But when you're linking to stuff, you're linking to a page on your website, or you're linking from other websites to your website, don't always link using the same keyword because it's not natural and organic. Okay, you could have a page about top 10 travel destinations, on a budget or something like that. You don't want to have that specific link always pointing to that page because it doesn't look natural. You want to have click here. You want to have maybe click here be the anchor text because that makes it a little bit more generic, or, check out this article, maybe that's hyperlinked as the anchor text. So mix it up, so to speak. You don't want to be so stringent, always using the same, anchor text. And that's why LSI is so good. If you're doing like the top 10 travel destinations on a budget, you could do a different keyword that's an LSI keyword as well. That's also pretty good. So the internal link title attribution, of course, what's the title tag of the internal links? Are you using title tags on the internal links? That sends another relevancy signal. How many broken links are on the page? You don't want broken links on the page. It's only gonna, reduce the quality of your content. So try to ensure that you don't have broken links. Affiliate links, we discussed kind of briefly. How many affiliate links are on the page now? Google's okay with affiliate links for the most part. It just doesn't want you to bombard people with affiliate links, especially if you're not adding sufficient amounts of value. So if you do have affiliate links, try to tone it down and keep it to kind of a respectable number of links, and inform people, on your website that you have affiliate links and you might make money if they click on something or buy from it. So, for FTC regulations, that's also very, very important. Your opinion, might be for sale. So, that's kind of an important consideration to tell people. So number 29, we have hidden affiliate links. Never hide affiliate links on the page, in a deceitful way, to pass page rank or whatever you want to do. So be very, very careful about that. Now, what's the page rank of your page? That's an important consideration as well regarding your content. Does it have a high page rank? Of course, if it has a high page rank, it's going to allow it to appear more relevantly. Now, to get a high page rank, of course, we have to do some SEO. So how about the host domain authority? Now, you've seen me talk about that, domain authority in that Moz toolbar, which is pretty important. So domain authority is kind of like, the page rank of the entire website. How important is this entire website? So that's a figure to pay attention to no matter what you're doing in SEO. And how about the age of the page? What's the age of the page itself? Is it brand new or is it old? When did Google first index the content? That's really, really high. If the domain authority is high, what you'll notice is, you can go and post on authority websites and it'll appear pretty quickly at the top of Google SERPs if you do your job right. If everything else is perfect, if you do it right, you're going to hit that first page of Google SERPs pretty quickly on authority sites. If you have a website and you have a domain authority that's respectable, let's say it's over 40 or 50, it's going to be very quick for you to rank high on Google SERPs because there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, of course, the domain is more trusted. Content released on a trusted domain is far more likely to get shown because Google knows that you have a good track record, so it can trust you. And secondly is Google spiders those trusted websites far more frequently. Facebook is getting spidered probably every minute, who knows, every few seconds, as opposed to maybe, every few days for a brand new website or, every week for a site with very little domain authority. YouTube videos, Google loves YouTube videos. It's also the second biggest search engine in the world. You want to have YouTube videos on your page because that can help to drive home the relevancy and assist people with solving whatever question they have an answer about and whatever question you're helping them to answer. So of course this is kind of similar to the audio and video stuff, but that audio and video could be from anywhere else, but now I'm talking particularly about YouTube. Google loves YouTube. So how many links do you have going out to bad link neighborhoods? You'll be very careful about who you're linking to. This is not just people linking to you. If you're linking out to spammy or low quality sites, then you can kind of kiss your rankings goodbye for that page. So, and be very careful over optimizing your page content. Don't make it sound forced or spammy. I know it's hard, especially if you're just starting out writing and stuff like that, but be very, very careful. Read it over many, many times. Spend as much time as you can because you really have to get good at this stuff. Once you get good at it, the world really is your oyster because it all boils down to how good you can write that content and how optimized you can make it. Of course, stay away from auto-generated content. Article spinning and those kinds of things. You just don't want to deal with those things whatsoever. So the research related, we talked about, article, your content should be well researched, cite your sources, put links to those sources, put statistical information there to back up whatever theories and claims that you're presenting. That always goes over very, very well. Content length, is it over 1,000 words? Make sure that you don't write anything under 1,000 words. I mean, literally don't write anything under 1,000 words. There's so much competition out there that if you're writing below 1,000 words, your chances of ranking relevantly, especially with a brand new domain, is going to be seriously low. You make it over 2,000 words, in fact. And this study conducted by SERP IP shows that the average first page SERP result is over 2,000 words. And if we take a look here, number one is actually at 2,450 words, just above. Number two is just shy of maybe 2,500, and then number three, number four goes down from there. But you can see all of this is between 2,000 and 2,500. The first 10. So this is the first page of Google because we have 10 results on the first page of Google, and they're all between 2,000 and 2,500 words. So that should send you a pretty strong signal. I try to write between 1,000 and 5,000 word posts for all my articles, because that's really what it takes to write something that's in-depth, well-researched, engaging, so on and so forth.